You got your authorization to operate. Congratulations, but eMASS does not care that you celebrated, briefed leadership, or moved on to the next project. Your authorization still requires maintenance. Workflow 4, the annual security review, helps keep that authorization alive. Ignore it, and your ATO can slowly become unsupported without anyone noticing until you need something from the authorizing official. One of the most common mistakes new ISSOs make is treating authorization as the finish line. They complete the assessment. They respond to findings. They build the authorization package. They route everything through eMASS. The authorizing official signs the decision. Then the team assumes the system is done until the ATO expiration date. That is not how continuous monitoring works. An ATO is based on the system's security posture at a specific point in time. Your organization must continue to collect evidence that the controls remain in place and effective. The annual security review is one way you demonstrate continued effectiveness. When the annual review comes due, the selected controls should already have current evidence, test results, and responsible control owners. But many teams wait until the workflow appears in eMASS. Then they discover that nothing is ready. The scans are old. The control responses have not been reviewed. The evidence owner left the organization. The POA&M does not reflect current findings, and nobody remembers which controls were scheduled for reassessment. It may not immediately cancel your authorization. The problem usually surfaces later. When you request an ATO extension, submit a significant change, or begin reauthorization. The annual security review workflow documents the yearly reassessment of a defined subset of your security controls. You usually do not reassess every control in the package during each annual review. Your continuous monitoring strategy should identify which controls must be reviewed, how frequently they must be assessed, what evidence is required, and who owns the activity. This creates a repeatable assessment cycle. Some controls may require annual reassessment. Others may be assessed more frequently due to risk, volatility, exposure to threats, organizational policy, or the type of technology used. Before starting the workflow, review the continuous monitoring strategy and confirm the control subset selected for that review period. Do not assume the list from last year still applies. System changes, findings, risk decisions, or updated organizational requirements may affect what needs to be reviewed. Each selected control needs current assessment results in eMASS. That normally means reviewing the control assessment information through the control approval chain, or CAC, according to your organization's process. The control response should accurately describe how the control operates today. Not how it operated when the system was first authorized. Not what the implementation plan said would eventually happen. Today, confirm the implementation statement, confirm the responsible organization, confirm inherited controls and dependencies, confirm that referenced procedures, diagrams, screenshots, tickets, reports, and technical evidence remain valid. The assessor should be able to connect the control requirement to the implementation statement, the assessment procedure, and the supporting evidence. That traceability matters. A file attached to a control does not automatically prove the control is effective. The evidence must be relevant, current, readable, and connected to the requirement being tested. This is where many annual reviews fail. Teams reuse the evidence from the authorization package without checking the date or the system configuration. Old evidence gets returned. A vulnerability scan from 2024 does not prove that a control is operating effectively in 2026. A screenshot from an administrator who no longer has access may not represent the current configuration. An outdated network diagram may omit a new connection. A procedure with the wrong system name or approval authority creates questions about whether the process is actually being followed. Evidence must reflect the current assessment period and operating environment. Before you submit the annual security review workflow, complete 5 checks. First, confirm the correct control subset. Compare the workflow controls against the approved continuous monitoring strategy. Second, reassess the selected controls. Review the implementation statements, test procedures, results, and evidence. Third, attach current technical data that may include ACAS results, STIG or SCAP results, configuration reports, audit logs, access reviews, incident records, or other evidence required by the control. Fourth, update the POA&M. If the annual review identifies a weakness, document it. Assign an owner. Establish milestones. Record the resources required. Provide a realistic completion date. Do not leave a known weakness buried in an assessment comment. Fifth, confirm the system security plan review. The SSP should reflect the current system boundary, environment, responsibilities, interconnections, technologies, and control implementation. Once the package is complete, conduct a quality review before routing it to the ISSM. Check for inconsistent dates. Check for missing attachments. Check for controls marked compliant when the evidence shows an unresolved weakness. Check that POA&M items match the assessment results. Check that file names clearly identify the system, control, evidence type, and assessment period. The ISSM should receive a package ready for review, not a collection of incomplete control responses. A clean submission reduces rework and helps the ISSM focus on risk rather than administrative corrections. The annual security review is not a paperwork exercise. It is a yearly checkpoint that answers a basic question: can the organization still support the risk decision that authorized this system? Your ATO stays defensible when your control assessments, evidence, and scans and SSP tell the same current story. Build the annual review into your continuous monitoring calendar. Do not wait for eMASS to remind you that the work is due. That is Workflow 4 of 19 in the eMASS Workflows series. A new workflow breakdown is released every week. The full walkthrough is free. Follow the practical ISSO and use the link in the bio.